Sheree Garvey with the Appleton Area School District says events like Uvalde can lead to anxiety and fear. The district sent a letter to families on Wednesday to highlight mental health resources and acknowledge the district's safety protocols.
Every one of our students and families are going to come in with different fears and concerns, and so we want our families to reach out to us to express those concerns. We want to assure them of our different safety measures that we have in place, but then honor and validate what their feelings are and talk that through with them.
The district is prioritizing staff and student needs right now. In Greenbay, there was an increased police presence outside schools on Wednesday.
Sometimes we have to actually keep the schools safe, but sometimes people benefit too just from seeing a police officer, especially after something like this happens, just to reassure the public that we are there and that we do take our kids' safety very seriously.
Greenbay Police Chief Chris Davis says law enforcement has a responsibility to make sure they do everything they can to prevent something like Uvalde from happening here.
And certainly, maintain the readiness to respond in the event that it does, but really our efforts need to focus on prevention up front.
The Brown County Sheriff's Office also has some preventative protocols in place.
When issues come up of concerns that either a student has, maybe a staff of a school, we immediately address it. So we have that communication, find out what the issues might be, and then work with the school district to resolve it.
Davis says the department collaborates with other agencies and fire departments to make sure they can respond as efficiently as possible.
We first spoke to Rosemary Rabideau nearly 2 weeks ago about her son Braden and 2 other students being investigated for sexual harassment.
Just telling my story, telling Braden's story, and it's gone national. And I have received support from most states and different countries, and a lot of prayers from people.
But some of the attention Rabideau would soon discover was unwanted. That happened with the first bomb threat Kiel Middle School received Monday. It referred to the ongoing Title IX investigation and complaints the students' parents, along with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, asked the district to drop.
Our lawyers and us don't support any type of violence. But I feel like if they would have just dropped it, it would have never gone this far.
We haven't heard back yet from the district in response to our letter, but we have been in contact with attorneys for the district, and we expect to hear back sometime this week, hopefully today.
Rabideau says this entire ordeal and now these bomb threats have really taken a toll on her son Braden as well.
Ultimately, the whole thing has him just depressed. He's genuinely a good kid, smart, kind boy. And, I wanted to make sure the world knew that.
She says the threats of violence aren't helping.
They're making it worse, and they're terrifying this community that's already in turmoil because of the situation.
The organizer of the recall campaign says they won't have the necessary signatures to force a special election. More than 9,700 Green Bay residents would have to sign a petition. A 60-day window to get them ends on Monday. Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz has balanced coverage of the campaign and the future of the mayor.
And good morning, everybody.
It appears
nice.
Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich won't have to actively campaign this summer to keep his job.
Not a huge shock. I don't think there was a lot of support for that effort, but it hasn't really been a focus of mine, obviously, just been focused on the business of the city.
David Vanderleest, who ran against Genrich for a state assembly seat 10 years ago, held a recall kickoff event nearly 2 months ago. Vanderleest said issues with 3 of Green Bay's elections in 2 years were the reasons why he felt Genrich should lose his job before his term is up next April. Vanderleest has not responded to Fox 11's messages asking for a reason why enough signatures were not collected to force a recall election.
The recall effort didn't seem to have a ton of support from the start, even from some of Genrich's biggest critics, many questioning the need for 2 mayoral elections within what would have been a 7 or 8 month period.
Brown County Republican Party Chair Jim Fitzgerald issued a statement when the recall campaign was launched that said, realizing members of the party may become involved, the party believes in the election process and looks forward to evaluating the field of candidates in the upcoming mayoral election in April of 2023. Genrich, a Democrat, says he hasn't made a decision yet on running for a second term.
But really enjoying the role enjoying working with our council. We got a lot of time between now and April, so expect a decision in the coming months, but focus on the work right now.
If recent history is any indicator, Genrich will have a battle on his hands if he runs again.
Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich and the City Council allowed this.
For city council races this spring, a conservative political action committee from Illinois spent about $60,000 on an attack ad against Genrich. 4 of 6 council candidates the group supported won their races, while only 1 of 5 candidates backed by a liberal group from Washington, D.C. won theirs.
Hopefully people can focus on the issues and present a positive agenda for the city. That's always what I've believed about in terms of, how I operate in politics and how I've served the city. So hopefully that'll be the case with whomever decides to step up and throw their hat in the ring.
A primary for the mayor's race would be February 21st.